Dear students, the next topic we are going to discuss today is formulation of hypothesis. Why or what is the need of formulating a hypothesis? We have seen in the scientific definition of what is meant by scientific method. We have seen that what is the importance of framing a hypothesis. Right? We are starting with an observation of a natural phenomena. Then we will be asking regular questions like why, what, and how for defining that problem. And based upon these questions, we are making or we are framing a hypothesis. So, what is the need of this framing of hypothesis? Yes, for resolving that particular problem or explaining that phenomenon that we have observed, we are framing or formulating a hypothesis. It will give us an information that by means of this formulating hypothesis, all the relevant facts has to be arranged in a specific manner. Okay, according to a famous scientist called Stebbings, he states that every hypothesis will spring out or sprouts from the union of knowledge and sagacity. So, in which information we want or which phenomena we want to study or we want to investigate, a previous knowledge of that investigation, of that field of investigation is very much needed. And what is the importance of this thing, that is awareness of this previous knowledge? Yes, this previous knowledge will help to reduce the errors. Okay, then how a process is originating or arising in a person. What are the different thought processes by means of which a hypothesis arises? There are generally 4 different thought processes are found. They are called analogy, induction and deduction, intuition, and hypothetico-deductive method. What does mean by analogy? Analogy implies similarity, which means the previously established knowledge of a particular thing is very much needed or contribute the formulation of a hypothesis. Which means if we are doing an experiment that already established and we are performing the same experiment, we will get the same result. Okay, if a similar situation established will provide similar results. So, a hypothesis becomes satisfactory when the similarities or analogies becomes well-established theories. So, it becomes so if you are performing the same thing, it becomes a theory when it becomes satisfactory with the multiple result. Okay, that is called the analogy. Then what is meant by induction and deduction? By means of these 2 processes also, hypothesis will be framed. We have discussed in the previous class what is meant by inductive method or induction, deductive method or deduction. Right? Inductive method is nothing but we are observing a particular or specific case, and from this observation of a specific case, we generally enter into a principle or theory or law. That is called inductive method. Okay, we have already stated that it is a bottom to top effect. Okay, from a case into a general theory. Then deduction means it is quite opposite of induction. That means from a general principle or a general law or theory, we are observing or we are we are concluding to a specific case. That is the quite opposite of induction, from general principle into a specific case. So it is also called a top to bottom effect. So by means of this induction and deduction also, we can frame a hypothesis. Then 4th one is called intuition. Intuitions. What does mean by intuition? Yes, we are directly understanding the truth without any conscious reasoning or study. We are making a hypothesis. Here, no significant knowledge or previous knowledge is needed as a guiding factor. It depends mainly upon the thoughts or the idea of the investigator. For example, serendipity. Serendipity means the inventions, discoveries which are made by the scientist. For example, Newton laws. Okay. Then the fourth one is called hypothetical deductive method. Here, the methodology in which the generalized hypothesis is subjected to what? Verification by means of deductive method or deduction, and we are comparing this thing with the related facts. So here what we are doing is that we are performing the experiment, and it is subjected to the verification. This experiment is subjected to the verification by means of deductive method, that we have already seen that in deductive method we are taking a general principle or general hypothesis, then it will be under the verification process, and after that we will be comparing this with the relatable facts. So this is a step-by-step procedure which in turn leads to either rejection or acceptance or substantiation of the hypothesis. That is called a hypothetical deductive method. That means here that the hypothesis that is formulated is subjected to the verification by means of deductive method, and we are comparing this result with the favorable facts. So that's all about the different thought processes which is very essential for framing a hypothesis. I hope you understood. Thank you.